It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Good morning and welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News on this, the 11th day of April, 2022. This is National Pet Day, so please, guys, do something nice for your pets. You know, give them a treat. Take them for, if it's a dog, take them for a walk. Whatever you do with cats. It's National Pet Day, so let's do something nice for all of our furry friends. Cruise ship sailing today from North American ports. Down in Charleston, you got the Carnival Sunshine, Port Canaveral, Independence of the Seas, Disney Dream, Carnival Liberty, and Carnival Elation. Down in Miami, the Freedom of the Seas, Norwegian Sky, Disney Magic, Carnival Conquest, Celebrity Summit. In Mobile, you've got Carnival Ecstasy, Galveston, Adventure of the Seas. That's the ship I just got off on. Really nice ship. Los Angeles, Long Beach, you got Carnival Radiance. Los Angeles, San Pedro, Navigator of the Seas. That's my next ship. And from San Francisco, the Ruby Princess. Today's headlines: Pride of America finally sails out in Hawaii. Koningsdam opens Canada over the weekend. Margaritaville at sea delayed. P&O cancels 7 cruises. Norwegian Pearl itinerary changed. Key West port agreement defeated. What? MSC Lirica opens Greek sailing for the season. AidaCozma christened. And space travel takes a giant leap. That and much more here this morning at 11. If you're listening today via the podcast, welcome aboard. As always, you can access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you get your podcasts from. All the big guys: Spotify, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Podchaser, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, any of them. Just search for Travel and Cruise Industry News, and the old fat travel guy will pop out at you. There's been a lot of talk recently about my audience doing a group cruise. For now, folks, I'm going to use the group cruise that's a collaboration with Cruises for Solos and Shelby at travelfun.biz. She's going to have some advertising on it ready for me sometime later today. And then I will get scheduled with Shelby to come on and we'll talk about it on this show. But basically, it's a 7-night Norwegian Encore cruise sailing from Miami on December the 4th. It has ports of call in Puerto Plata in the Dominican Republic, St. Thomas, which of course is the U.S. Virgin Islands, Tortola, which is the British Virgin Islands, and Great Stirrup Cay in the Bahamas. 7-night cruise. Solo studios are available. She has a bunch of the studios set aside. She also has cabins for couples as well, insides, ocean views, and balconies, available at extraordinarily competitive prices. There is a $250 deposit. All you have to do is contact Shelby, which, like she said, you can call, text, any of her social media things, send smoke signals, or Morse code. The easiest way is just go to the website travelfun.biz, B-I-Z, and send her a message, and she'll get back to you. So we'll have Shelby on the show sometime soon to talk about the group cruise. All right, guys, I'll be back with today's news after a word from one of our network sponsors. All right, on with today's news. The only large cruise ship that sails year-round throughout the Hawaiian Islands has finally resumed service. Hot Air Tom was thankful for that because he's had it canceled about 19 times now, I think. Norwegian Cruise Line's Pride of America restarted passenger sailings this past weekend out of Honolulu as she departed on a 7-night voyage to Kahualua, Hilo, Kona, and Nawiliwili. During the first several cruises, guest capacity will be quite low, so Norwegian Cruise Line has lowered the number of crew on board because of this. Some restaurants will not open as usual. Holland American Lines Koningsdam arrived in Vancouver yesterday, making the first ship back in the port in more than 2 years. The day was filled with events that included a celebratory ceremony pierside and a plaque exchange on board to commemorate Koningsdam's first ever call in Vancouver. On Saturday, Koningsdam was the first ship to return to Victoria, opening Canada to cruise ship travel once again. The rebranding of Bahamas Paradise, the little cruise line that could, into the upbeat, tropically vibed Margaritaville at sea has been delayed by 2 weeks. They had to cancel several cruises as the line has pushed back the inaugural sailing of the rebranded flagship Margaritaville Paradise. The new line is now scheduled to debut on May the 14th rather than April 30th. The delay is a result of supply chain issues. Margaritaville at Sea will begin sailing cruises to the Bahamas from Florida. Bahamas Paradise Cruise Line is being transformed into the new Jimmy Buffett offshore resort experience. Grand Classica is being converted into Margaritaville Paradise during a multi-million-dollar renovation. Everything from the public areas to the cabins on the cruise ship are being redone with a Margaritaville theme. The cruise ship will feature gourmet food and beverage options. Margaritaville Paradise will sell 2-night cruises to Freeport from the port of Palm Beach, with cruises starting at $169 per person. You can book a Margaritaville cruise on their website, margaritavilleatsea.com. P&O Cruises has announced the cancellation of 7 sailings of Arcadia in order to reassign crew members to other vessels due to COVID-19 cases impacting crew availability. Staffing issues may also be a result of crew members being unable to travel to meet their various ships to begin contracts, and redirecting crew members from one ship can help fill staffing gaps on other vessels. Though the ship only restarted passenger operations 12 days ago, all sailings until July the 5th have been canceled. The Vista-class Arcadia re-entered service on March 27th on a 16-day round trip from Southampton to the Canary Islands. The crew has visited ports in Spain and Portugal as well and will conclude the current sailing back in Southampton tomorrow, and then we'll be down until July the 5th. Norwegian Cruise Line informed guests of an itinerary change on the Norwegian Pearl out of Boston on the April 8th departure. I mean, that's the second cruise out of Boston, and they've got to change the itinerary. I don't understand why this wasn't done. Get your ducks in a row, Norwegian. They're going to call on Bar Harbor on April the 14th. That's a couple days from now. One big difference is that Bar Harbor is a tender port and the ship will be anchored from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. The vessel will only be spending 2 nights docked in Bermuda. The cruise line is refunding any pre-purchased tours for the originally scheduled 3rd day in Bermuda. I wonder what that's going to do with the travel documentation that Bermuda requires, because now that's changed in the middle of the cruise. Hot Air Tom might have to give his opinion on that one. Hot Air Tom's our Bermuda expert because he's filed the paperwork like 11 times and hasn't been there yet. The conflict between residents that want to ban cruise ships from entering Key West and the owners of the privately owned Pier B, with local entrepreneurs in favor of cruise ships coming to Key West, is beginning to a legal fight with no clear favorites on the outcome. Over the past couple months, there seemed to be an agreement in the works that would have allowed cruise ship traffic to continue under a new deal between Pier B and the city government. But in a vote in the Key West Commission, the agreement was rejected. The Key West issue is becoming more complicated by the day. An agreement from 1994, an agreement from 1994 between Pier B and the Key West city government is the main point of concern. This agreement states that Pier B has nearly unlimited use and possibilities to allow cruise ships to visit Key West. Negotiations between Key West and Pier B resulted in a new agreement that would have allowed Pier B to continue, but with some restrictions. Among the restrictions are 5 days a year that no crews were allowed to dock at the pier, New Year's, Easter, Independence Day, Thanksgiving Day, Christmas Eve. Also included were 10 additional days to be decided between Pier B and the city when no cruises are allowed. An average of a maximum 349 cruise ship per year over 3 years, and a limit of an average of 3,700 passengers to disembark every day. What is clear is that despite the current talks between Pier B and the city, cruise ships are still sailing to Key West as usual, something that the organization behind the referendum, Safer Cleaner Ships, feels is illegal. The newest argument to come from Safer Cleaner Ships, and the one that seems to have tackled the agreements between the city and the Pier B owner, Mark Walsh, is that Pier B structures, as they stand now, are not as agreed in 1994 and therefore illegal. This would make the entire agreement from 1994 a point of discussion. Mark Walsh, the owner, is having none of that argument. Both sides of the Key West cruise ship issue do not seem to be willing to come to a compromise that would satisfy both parties. In fact, the Safer Cleaner Ship has its way, Pier B's business model would be destroyed. If Pier B continues as it is now, the entire referendum held in 2020 will have been lost because of Safer Cleaner Ships. Yet, there seems to be little room for legal discussions. City Commissioner Mary Lou Hoover said claims by Safer Cleaner Ships were based on little evidence. With the agreement voted out, the talks seem to be gridlocked. Mark Walsh and Pier B seemed willing to make several concessions toward Safer Cleaner Ships and at least a more controlled cruise ship traffic towards Key West. Whether that attitude will remain is yet to be seen. So who knows what's going to happen in Key West. MSC Cruises today held a special event on board MSC Lirica in the port of Piraeus for nearly 150 members of the Greek travel industry to herald the start of the ship's summer 2022 sailing season. This is the first time that MSC Cruises has based one of its ships in Greece and the first time that its guests can embark in Piraeus. The AidaCozma was christened this weekend as part of a colorful music and light show in the port of Hamburg under the motto, "The world is becoming more colorful." The godmother of Aida Cruises' second LNG cruise ship was 11-time world champion in track cycling, Christina Vogel. And finally, folks, space travel has taken a giant leap forward. Ask the 3 businessmen who arrived Saturday at the International Space Station for a stay of more than a week. Each paid $55 million to be on board SpaceX and NASA's first private charter mission to the orbiting laboratory. $55 million. NASA has previously been reluctant to encourage visits to the space station. On its first private charter last year, Elon Musk's SpaceX took billionaire Jared Isaacman and 3 guests instead on a 3-day orbit in space. For 2 years, SpaceX has been carrying only astronauts to the space station. That changed with Friday's launch of the Falcon rocket from Kennedy Space Center in Florida. The $55 million fare paid by the businessmen covers transportation to and from the space station, accommodations, and meals. No extras, no excursions. So I just thought I'd point that out. No Wi-Fi. Chillies Cruises has learned that Hot Air Tom is on a future list of passengers going to the International Space Station. That's it for news today, folks. Let's see who's fussing at me in the chat room. Okay. Katie's driving but listening. That's good, Katie. Yeah, keep your hands on the wheel. Kenneth's with us. Good morning, Kenneth. Sonny's here down in Mississippi. Hi, Sonny. Jason's with us, Pittsburgh. Jason. Jason, thanks, Kenneth, for supporting Chillie. I do appreciate it as well, of course. Gretchen's here. Cindy's here. Hot Air Tom's here, as always. Good to see you guys. Jason loves his pets. I love my pets too. Hot Air Tom, kick a cat, hug a dog. No, we're not kicking cats. Nah, that's dead. Hug a dog, absolutely. Cindy says she loves her cats too. My cats would kick your ass, Tom. I mean, I hate to say it that way, but they would. Good luck on the West Coast. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about this one. I'm excited about this. I'm not excited about Alaska yet because I'm worried about it being too damn cold for me. But anyway, yeah, this is going to be okay. I've got, I got to fly, which I don't like to fly much anymore. But anyway, going to Los Angeles. I've got a nice hotel for the night and transfers over to the port. And then I'm going to get on Navigator of the Seas. And if it's anything like Adventure of the Seas, I'll be happy as a clam. Adventure of the Seas, like I've said several times now, was just an awesome, awesome ship. Really good ship. Jason says, Cindy, you cruise a lot. Jason says, NCL, yuck. Send smoke. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool from Shelby. Smoke signals. Yeah. Cindy says, Jason, it's the only way I stay sane with 50 to 60 hour work weeks. I'm a bargain hunter too. Rather do more cruises with less money. Got 12 planned from now through 2024. You go, Cindy. Woman after my own heart. Hot Air says, you know what the best part of NCL is? Jason says, Cindy, are you a true traveler? NCL has good food. Celebrity food was better. Celebrity, I have not been on Celebrity. That's one of the tops of my bucket list. But I understand Celebrity's food is awesome. Answer no, Jason, on NCL and a bunch of smiley faces. I need a pizza review on NCL. Yeah, well, I'll do one as soon as I go. I don't go on NCL till August. I don't have a Norwegian book till August. Now I've got one in August and one in December. Cindy, you're a travel hero to several people, including Sunny. NCL pizza review. Yeah, I caught that. I knew that was a fill-in mistake. Don't worry, I'll be there. My money is that Bermuda wanted more testing for staying that extra day. Wouldn't be surprised on that. I do love NCL, but lately their prices have been higher than usual. I get discounts from them since I'm platinum with Caesars due to credit cards, not gambling. So that helps me keep the cost down. They changed to eliminate testing. That's possible. Jason's a Carnival guy. Yep, we know that. Oh, thank you for the super sticker, Jason. I do appreciate that. As always, guys, anytime you guys do super chat, super stickers, I do so appreciate it. I'm for any cruise line that has a deal. I cruise Carnival, RCL, NCL. Have one book for Celebrity. Next year, older ship Summit. I'd like to go on Summit. I haven't been on Summit. That would be, I could stand going on Summit. MSC new label, marijuana sailing with cocaine. Hot air, that's not really fair. I mean, the last big drug bust was, who was that? There was a big drug bust on, it was one of the other lines. Yeah, I mean, they're fools. It had nothing to do with the cruise line. So please don't tie MSC to the drug thing, please. Because there are people out there that are going to run with that like crazy. And there were mules that got caught. It had nothing to do with the cruise line or crew or anything like that. They were purely mules for the cartel. And they got caught. Jason says, I don't need to credit him for the Elon Musk story. Jason asked me if I had covered that, and I said I have the story. I just didn't have time to use it. I kept putting it off. Well, then I used it. So that's definitely partially because Jason's saying, yeah, without saying it coming out right, I needed to cover that story, and he was right. I'd had a couple full days of news, and I put it off because it was, at the time, the least important thing on my agenda. Cindy said, Jason, it's a shame we didn't get to hang out on that cruise. I'm sure there will be a time when we do the same ship again. Any consideration to Paradise 1-5 with Cindy and with me and Cindy? That would be all right, Jason. 11-5, November 5th on the Paradise. Sometime we will meet on the high seas. Yes, indeed. MCS drugs, MSC drugs. Now, we're not going there, guys. Celebrity Summit, good deal. Yeah. The drug story last week was MSC. I want to know how they got on the ship. Everything is scanned. Looking for contraband items. It was smuggled on. That was all. You can beat scanners on certain things. You got to have, the, have the specifically for drugs. So anyway, yeah, the drug deal, and they were purely mules. Had nothing to do with crew. That was one of my competitors was saying that was a crew member that got caught. No, it wasn't. There were passengers. There were mules for the cartel that were transporting drugs, and then they found more that they had hidden in their cabins. Not on the ship. In their cabins is where the drugs were found. So, all right, guys, that's going to wrap me up for today and wrap up the news for today. I will be back tomorrow. By the way, on Thursday this week, there is not going to be a show. because I'll leave here at 5 a.m. My flight is at 6:20 out of Lynchburg. I'm flying out of Lynchburg, which is a rarity for me. So I'm not going to have time to do a show and write the show before I go get on the airplane. So Thursday there will be no show. I will be back Friday, dodging around because that's going to be California time. So I'm not going to get on the ship till after the show. So Friday I will do the show, normal time, but Thursday no show. So I just want that announced early. So, all right, guys, that's going to wrap me up for today. I will see everybody back here, same time, same channel tomorrow. If you're new to this channel, appreciate the thumbs up. That helps the channel out a lot. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. Hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when we go live or a new video is up, especially the videos Jason likes with my little Italian guy going, delicious, or whatever he says. So anyway, that's it for today. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, think about cruising, and one of these days we'll meet on the high seas. This is the old fat travel guy. Have a great day. See everybody back here tomorrow.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chilliescruises.